Well, welcome to this week's vlog, and I'm going to be talking about a fairly contentious issue in the community, and that's cannabis. At the last council meeting, the council did vote to approve the opening of some dispensaries. I can't tell you how many yet. We haven't decided that yet, but I would assume that we'd be going forward with a fairly small number because we want to make sure that we can manage those dispensaries well. Along with dispensaries, we also approved the professional services of labs and distribution of marijuana, and also of commercial grow. We did make sure that we said no on any outdoor grow, and I'll come back and talk about that more a little bit later. So I want to explain my reasoning behind this because I know I've probably surprised and disappointed many people with my position on this. Personally, I am not a user of cannabis. I think it's not good for people to take mind-altering substances. I voted no on 64. I did not want to see legalization occur, but legalization has changed many things. So that's my personal beliefs. My beliefs as a medical provider, as being a nurse practitioner for 29 years, I find that the medical benefits of cannabis are highly oversold, and the risks have been undersold. There are many risks associated with cannabis, and the medical use is really pretty limited at this point. You have increasing problems with mental health conditions with cannabis, and certainly there are considerable risks with youth using cannabis and its effect on mood and motivation and memory and cognition, the skills of our workforce. There's also increased risks of DUIs in states that have legalized that. We see that in states like Colorado. So there are risks associated with this product. And then I have my role as a government leader. When the people of the state have said yes, they want to have this product to be legal, then I have a responsibility to try to regulate that and mitigate that as best I can and be responsible to that, whether or not I personally agree with that. So I have worked through those processes and thought this through. For me, legalization has changed everything. Before it wasn't illegal, but now it is, and that changes things. It becomes more like prohibition. We tried prohibition in our country 100 years ago. It did not work. We have tried prohibiting marijuana for 60 years, and it has not worked. Marijuana is on the increase. People have easy access to it. They have decided they want it legal in this state, not unlike tobacco, not unlike alcohol, which also are mind-altering and addictive and have ill effects in our community. We need to figure out how we're going to move forward with this product and do so in a way that is as safe as possible. So that is the position I have taken, because I can see down the road what happens if we don't make it legal, if we leave it like it is, we don't allow we don't allow dispensaries or commercial grow. People can easily use it just like you can in dry counties in the U.S. You just drive up the road a few miles, buy your cannabis in Shasta Lake City, you come back here and consume it, and the DUIs happen here. All the ill effects of cannabis happen here because it's so easily accessible. So not allowing those things to happen here and have any revenue to mitigate them is not logical to me. It makes no sense in the end game. Again, legalization has changed the story, and so we have to look at it through a different lens. So now that that's happened, my position is to begin on the council. The council's position is really to try to figure out how do we do this in the best way possible. One of the benefits of allowing dispensaries is that the product will be tested for contaminants. Currently, much of the illegal marijuana on the market today is contaminated with high levels of pesticides or biologic contaminants that can make people ill, and you don't know the strength of it. There's not appropriate labeling. So one thing about having dispensaries is you'll have testing and you'll have labeling, and also there will be ID checks so that only people 21 and older can purchase that. And then from that cannabis, we will get a revenue source to be able to provide public education campaigns about the risks of cannabis, not unlike tobacco. You begin to educate the public on a product, and over time, less and less people begin to use that, and you see that in tobacco today, and I assume that over years that will happen with cannabis as well, as more of the risks become known. The other thing is you get a revenue source to be able to enforce illegal activity, and so we need to have that in our community. We need to be able to stop the illegal grows. So that's why I have voted to go forward with dispensaries and with cultivation. I want to say one last word about outdoor grow. Along in this conversation, we had this opportunity, and the council did vote yes to repeal outdoor grow, all open outdoor grow for any reason within the city, including medical. Right now in this city, if you have a medical card, you can grow 6 cannabis plants outside in your backyard. The current law allows everyone to be able to grow 6 plants in their house, and then if we're going to allow dispensaries, patients have that opportunity as well. If they can't grow indoors, they can go down to a local dispensary and purchase their cannabis. And I think that's important because right now 10% of our code enforcement time is consumed with complaints about cannabis, the smell of cannabis. And it's probably the number one complaint I get from citizens is they don't want to smell their neighbor's cannabis. They want to be able to sit out on their backyard and enjoy their backyard free of the smell of pot growing. And I completely understand that. I also have patients in my practice with asthma, severe allergies, COPD, and when their neighbors are growing cannabis, they can't open their windows at night. And so their medical condition prohibits them from smelling cannabis. So we just need to make sure that if we're using a product that we're not subjecting our neighbors to the ill effects of that product. And just like I purchase my medication at a local pharmacy, I don't subject my neighbors to the smell of my medication. So that should be in our community. Everybody should have the right to smell it or not. So that's my position on the outdoor grow, and I hope you understand why I voted yes on cultivation and dispensaries. We'll be working as a council to watch this very carefully. We'll be regulating it very closely as well. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, Julie at juliewinter.com. You can always email me there. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great week.